if you want. $1.1 trillion in cuts.
Good day, everybody. This is Rush Limbaugh here on DCRTV. Sounds like I'm talking with foam in my throat. I went to a funeral in Boston Friday. Then I went to the Apple store and I bought a fancy new computer. And then a bunch of people sent me emails about Obama. Man, I don't know, man. You know, agree or disagree with Rush Limbaugh, that voice, that kind of crusty, guttural voice is kind of starting to sound like Scott Shannon these days. Gotta turn that off. MAL, man, it truly is a dumbass radio station. I mean, you know, the morning show, they got Brian Wilson, who I like, don't agree with, but I like him. I like Brian Neiman. That Mary Katharine Hamm chick is starting to drive me nuts. She has this giggle. She giggles all the time. You know, I'm talking this morning about the death of Amy Winehouse. Smirking and giggling. First off, and it's one reason I never got into broadcasting, because, you know, I would suck as a broadcaster, okay? I don't have the voice for it. I don't have, you know, it takes something. You need to train your voice to be a good radio broadcaster, you know? And Mary Katharine Hamm doesn't have that. She may be a smart chick. She may be connected to Tucker Carlson, who's, you know, through his familial lines, owns half of DC or whatever. But, you know, she just has this irritating voice on the radio, the kind of Valley Girlish, kind of giggly, nervous giggle in her throat. And it drives you, I don't know, man, it drives me crazy. I can't take more than a few minutes of it. But judging by WMAL's stunning morning ratings, I don't think anybody else can either. All right, folks, how you doing? It's the 25th of July, 2011. This is Dave TV for today. Okay, got a special. If you sign up for DCRTV Plus, you get 2 years for the price of one. That's 2 years for $39, okay? And we're also throwing in a free Shirt Shack t-shirt. These are t-shirts from our Shirt Shack section. And they're classic WMAL t-shirts, classic DC radio t-shirts, including this one from WMAL. You could own this. WMAL News Talk 630 with Bill Press, Eddie Parks, and Jay Norris on the back. You could be walking around DC in this t-shirt for free. Just make a $39 donation to DCRTV. You can either extend, renew, or start a subscription to DCRTV Plus, which has got gazillions and gazillions and gazillions of cool, nostalgic stuff about DC radio and Baltimore radio. And we got clips, we got audio clips, we got video clips, we got graphics, we got station histories, we got a whole bunch of cool stuff. Tech specs, tribute pages, and the like. So then you make your donation, then you go to our Shirt Shack page. There, you can click on it from the front page there. Pick out the t-shirt you want. You know, if you don't like the WMAL one, you could have this cool Z104 shirt, okay? Or you could have this cool extra 104 shirt. Or you could have this cool, what is this one? Ooh, classic rock. 94.7, The Arrow, one of the many defunct radio stations in the Washington market these days. So, anyhow, that offer's good through the end of the month. Also, I must announce, we're coming out with some DCRTV t-shirts. Okay? A lot of people have asked for DCRTV t-shirts, so in a couple days, we're going to let you know how to get one. So I can just see people walking into Jennifer Street there, you know, wearing their DCRTV t-shirts. Kenny King, what do you have on? All right, folks. So there. What's the big news? Radio 1, which owns WKYS, WMMJ, WOL, WPRS, and WYCB, has just signed a lease. Excuse me. Signed a lease to move. Remember, they're moving from Lanham, over there, right off the Beltway there in central Prince George's County, to Radio 1. They're moving to Silver Spring. in downtown Silver Spring there. And we just read in the Washington Business Journal that they've signed for 25,000 square feet at 8515 George Avenue and 21,000 square feet at 1010 Wayne Avenue. The Wayne Avenue address will be their headquarters facility, and the 8515 George Avenue address will be where the radio stations, DC radio stations, operate. As you may or may not know, Radio 1 was planning to move to DC. They're moving back to DC. Remember, they were originally started in DC. They're going to move to the Shaw neighborhood a year or two ago, and at the last minute they nixed that deal. Apparently, it didn't all work out. Obviously the local jurisdiction didn't kick in the tax bennies and whatever. So that once Radio 1 moves over, that will pretty much leave CBS as the only major DC area radio station owner that's based in Prince George's County. And of course, as we've told you, CBS will be moving WJFK, their only station over in Fairfax, and really the only major broadcaster in Fairfax County, or the Fairfax County environs, moving their studios over to Lanham. So WJFK will be licensed to Manassas, way out the west there. Their transmitter will be in Merrifield there in Fairfax, and their studios will be way, way, way over there on the other side of the Beltway in Lanham. So, Lanham Studios for a station license in Manassas. Hey, that's the way the FCC works today. It doesn't matter if your city of license is 35 or 40 miles away from your studio, right? It doesn't matter. Radio, it's basically, if you own it, you can do whatever you want with it. The hell with the public. The hell with the listeners. So there. All right, folks. What else is going on? We're hearing that DJ Rane Sykes, who was part of the home team afternoon show there on WPGC, has left the station, leaving DJ Flex on his own. As you may or may not know, DCRTV reported a few weeks ago that she's filed suit against the station, WPGC, and CBS in DC, asking for $200,000 in back pay and damages, claiming sexual discrimination and a violation of the Maryland Equal Pay Act. She claims that she's got, a broadcast degree and all that, and she's making less than folks who work at the radio stations that only have high school degrees. So that's that. Tip of the old. Let me put my camo cap on before I can tip off it. Right. Sorry, it's kind of sweaty. I was taking a long walk this morning. Tip of the camo cap today to Mr. Bruce Sundlun. If you're a student of Washington area radio, you will remember Bruce. He was the CEO of the Outlet Company, the Outlet Communications Company back in the 1980s. And Outlet used to own WTOP, as Young Dave Brown says. Oh my God, thunder! Ah! Anyhow, WTOP. The Outlet Company used to own WTOP. And back in 1983, they bought, they thought, we'll throw an FM signal in. We'll buy 102.3. Just happened to be WHFS with, the heritage progressive rock format. So I dug this out of the DCRTV archives. You can see that there. There he is. There's Mr. Sundlun back in 1981 when the Outlet Company was getting bought out by another company. But anyhow, they used to own WTOP. This is from the Washington Post. Okay, the Outlet Company, headquartered in Providence, Rhode Island, owns a bunch of TV stations, radio stations, and it bought WTOP in 1978. Not exactly sure when it sold TOP, but it owned them in 83, and that's when it bought the 102.3 signal, and then WHFS went off the air, and I think it was July or so of 1983, and they were off the air for a couple months, and then came back on 99.1 out of Annapolis. So there. But that was the... Anyhow, a lot of rock music fans demonized Mr. Sundlun, who later ran for the governor of Rhode Island and won. They demonized him because he was the guy who killed off HFS. Of course, it rose from the dead again, and whatever. And it will rise again, keep rising from the dead over and over again, like it always does. Okay, folks, that's it. That's the news for today here on the Monday 7/25 edition of Dave TV. And we'll be back later in the week with more cool news and ratings. So stay tuned. And I just said it. Stay tuned!